Well, welcome in, LSU fans, to another edition of the Bengal Tiger podcast preview and prediction show as the Tigers get set to play at Death Valley for the first time, the true Death Valley, for the first time in 2025. They welcome Louisiana Tech, and I welcome you into the podcast. That is Shea, Dixon, Matthew, Brune, and my name is Bryce Koon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Fellas, we get a home game here in the early week of September. It's going to be warm, going to be toasty. But we get college football down here in South Louisiana. Shea, how excited are you to peruse the press box of just a massive in-state battle?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, if this were, is it Oklahoma State? Who's selling to boosters or fans the press pass to be able to go to a post-game presser?
Oklahoma, isn't it?
Oklahoma or Oklahoma State?
One of the two.
I will sell anybody my media pass right now. You can watch the entire game with Maddie B and Bryce. You can just
Bryce is barely getting in the damn building.
I'm barely getting in. I've got to go sit in the second deck. So
we can chop, but then you can sit in both decks. There'll be hot dogs for y'all. You can get as many fountain cokes as you want. You can ride up and down the elevator
constantly, pretty
much all game. I'm describing things like a 6-year-old would enjoy doing, but we've got 48 hours to go. It's officially for sale. First bid in wins. You're going to the game. Congrats.
Looking to waste no time on that bidding process. I like it. Brune, you pumped for a home game?
I am. I'm ready. After
he's lying.
I'm so ready. No, not true. Not true, Shea. I am juiced to get into Death Valley and watch Louisiana State University versus Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. No, it's going to be a home game. I'm interested to see what the vibes will be. Kind of this game sandwiched in between, obviously, like we talked about. Big road game last week, and then obviously welcoming in, which, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what College Game Day does next week. If Florida takes care of business against South Florida, I know there's some other games. The docket, Georgia, Tennessee is up there as a potential one that could get game day, but does game day ESPN decide to come down to Baton Rouge early in the season? I don't know. Shea, you would know. When's outside of LSU, Alabama? When's like the last time they've come down to Baton Rouge? Would you know that off the top of your head?
Matty B, what game was that? Was that Bama then when they did it in the quad?
Yeah. I think Alabama's the last time, like the last couple times, right? It's been LSU Bama. I'd have to fully think about that for a second. But yeah, I mean,
most times that have ever hosted, LSU is fourth at 14.
But since I've been on the beat,
it's only been Bama.
I only remember
it was Bama last year.
They didn't do like an Ole Miss game.
It was at South Carolina last year.
Yeah, at South Carolina.
Bama the year prior. Nobody the year prior. 2020's COVID. Then 2019, obviously, a bunch. It was at Texas versus Florida. That was at home. At Bama. And then they SEC Championship National. So the last one that wasn't Bama was versus Florida. The natty year in 2019.
So if they get it next week, it'll be the first that Florida will have that back-to-back, I guess, consecutive, not Bama. That's interesting. It'll be interesting to watch, but we got
and that makes sense, Bryce, too, for your Florida argument, that then they wouldn't go back-to-back years of South Carolina LSU. If they were at South Carolina last year for game day when LSU was there.
True, because that I saw a tweet today kind of circulating. That could be, and I have to go back and look at South Carolina's schedule leading up to LSU, but there's a chance.
I don't think they play anybody.
Yeah, I think they should be undefeated, and if LSU takes care of business, I mean, they'll have essentially 3 top 25 wins, at that point. So it'd be interesting. But we do have a game, and let's make sure we pay attention to what's on hand on Saturday. But fellas, in games like this, and absolutely no disrespect to Louisiana Tech, but after what we saw on the field last weekend, you look at what our friends over at BetMGM have the spread at. There's a heavy expectation that LSU should win this game. The expectation is that they should do it handily. I wanted to kind of start off with this and kind of the big topic of the night. Shea, we'll start with you. In games like this, what can you prove? And that's kind of been a constant conversation, I feel like, on our board. What are some things that you can go out there and showcase that I guess you could take away? Because in games like this, it kind of is hard to take away things.
Don't get injured is always the first thing, but that's not showcasing much. I think LSU would want to be able to run the football this weekend.
Mm.
Consistently, you don't need to prove anything with Nuss. He's got the rapport with the receivers, even transfers. Your new look offense, which I'm sure we'll touch on, but I think is here to stay. Like this Xavier Thomas, Jawan, motioning him, kind of using misdirection, getting him into the backfield. You already worked on that on Clemson and it worked. Like not like you have to like iron those details out. So I'll say run game.
Okay.
That's what we've said. We want to see him consistently run for 100+ yards. This would be a good weekend to do that.
Brune, what about you? What can you take away and feel like, hey, I don't have to take it with a grain of salt necessarily?
Yeah, I think I wrote about the keys to the game earlier, and I'm not sure how much we're going to learn defensively because I think they're going to keep it fairly vanilla. Schematically, I would not expect them to do a lot of different things, throw a lot of things at them, especially with Florida on deck. You wouldn't want to show them too much, but I don't think they need to try to reinvent the wheel here, especially if they are able to, like I've said before, man up on the perimeter. If they're able to man up with Delane and Woodland and Pickett, that just opens things up for Perkins. I do want to see them continue to stop the run the way that they did. I read your behind the enemy line story, and Louisiana Tech definitely had some success running the ball against Southeastern, and that's going to be something they're going to look to do consistently here. So can LSU sustain that run defense that we've seen them do consistently? And then beyond that, I expect them to go into this game on the front foot defensively. I don't expect them to just be like a bend, don't break type defense. Don't just sit back and, let them get yards. Like I think Blake Baker, especially if they can man up on the outside, they're going to have Halsky in the box looking to stop the run. They're going to have Cooley manned up in the slot. Like they're going to have Perkins looking to get in the backfield. So I think they're going to be real aggressive from the start, and that's what I'm interested to see defensively.
Yeah, I like what you said, vanilla. Like pretty base defense. You're going to run out there, let your athletes play, make sure you stay. I would add to that, make sure you stay assignment sound. Like no explosive plays. They did a good job of that against Clemson, right? I mean, they played them. I've said this term so much recently. They played them inside the phone booth and won. You want to kind of keep that mantra up, I guess. Shea, what you got?
Totally different teams, obviously, but it plays to your point, Bryce, that remember last year they'd come off a game where it came down to the final minute and USC actually scores, they lose, they come home, they open it against Nichols, and they got run all over. They were just not tackling. They were giving up big plays. And in that game, which is why I say I would like to see them run the football, and you might say, well, it's La Tech. What does that say? Well, last year's team ran it 21 times for 68 yards and 3 yards a carry versus Nichols. Like they tried and they couldn't run the football to any great measure. So I'll just piggyback what y'all said there is that play some clean football, come out here, don't show a ton. I care so much more about them running the football than them like, where's the vertical passing game? Like that wasn't the plan against Clemson. I don't really care about that right now against La Tech. I want to see them run the football.
We didn't see it, to your point, last year against Nichols, and we never really saw it.
But it wasn't until week 3, that next game, where Caden Durham broke out against South Carolina
exactly.
with some big runs.
So to that point, I want to see this offensive line. Josh Thompson talked a little bit about this. I want to see them maul an opposing defensive line. We didn't see that against anybody last year. Line up, run the ball over and over again, and understand you're moving your guy 1, 2, 3 yards off the ball and creating running lanes where Caden Durham, Jawan Johnson, Harlan Berry, Caleb Jackson, whoever it is, gets touches in the backfield. Xavier Thomas isn't being touched until he gets 2-3 yards past the line of scrimmage, at least. That for me. So I think we're kind of all on the same page there in terms of clean football, smart decisions, stay healthy, and just run the football. Like you don't have to be exotic in this one. I feel like you don't have to don't get too cute, which I don't think they will, but that's kind of
they're definitely. And I mean, myself included, I wrote like 6 players I want to see. And one of them was Nick Anderson. And some people were like, well, Chris Hilton too. And sure, you can throw them in there. I think we talked about it going into the year or after the Clemson game, like the way that Clemson defended them, plus protecting the offensive line, it was a perfect game plan against Clemson. I would expect them to just take a couple shots to Hilton and Anderson just to get their feet wet, get them going within the year, whether they're open or not. I mean, obviously, if they're playing really deep, 2 high shells type stuff, then you're not don't need to double coverage. But any type of opportunity that they're going to get with those two, I do think that with the depth of this receiver room, you do need them to a degree to keep defenses honest. Like that was the difference coming into the year was you have these big play receivers and that's going to open up everything else. Well, it did in week 1. Like the threat of going deep opened up a lot of what you were able to do. And you want that to be like, oh, when Ole Miss looks at the, season stats in 4 weeks, be like, oh, Chris Hilton is averaging 20 yards of reception or something like that.
Yeah.
Like we have to play a little off of him and stuff like that. So I do think Hilton Anderson, look for them to get a few targets each and be featured a bit more in this passing attack.
Shea, it kind of takes us, and Brune did a good job segueing here. Who are maybe 1 or 2 names that you're really wanting to watch and see what they do on Saturday night?
I'm more so not concerned. I'm more so excited to see, because I do think he's going to have a lot of big games, what this player does a week from now versus Florida. But Baron Brown, we talked about, I mean, he was tied for a team high 7 targets and he doesn't get the touchdown. That didn't even count as a catch. And he ends up with, I think he caught 5 or 6 balls, but it's 20 something yards. Blocks, has the highest blocking grade on the entire team, let alone at receivers. So he went out and just handled business. In this one, I think he can easily catch the ball and get into space, which is what he does best. So I want to see the Baron Brown that we saw in spring, fall, and at Kentucky, the one who is so dangerous in space. Defensively, just give me more of everybody.
I was like Braylon Moore? Who are we talking about?
I'd like to see Gabe Relaford, because I think that Patrick Payton really got a lot of those snaps last weekend. And I think that number will shrink more to kind of not a split, but closer to 50-50 as time goes on. And this is a good week to start that.
I'm going to go offensively with Harlem Berry. I think it'd be really interesting to see what he can do and showcase, because look, we're all really high on him. Brune, I know that you and I've talked about this. Like he was, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, your number 1 player, like in that recruiting class in terms, and I don't want to say it wasn't close, but you remember you telling me there's a pretty wide gap.
Well, him and Pickett were 1, 2. Him, Pickett, Kern, 1, 2, 3. That's
Berry,
good 3.
Yeah, that's a really good 3. No, but Harlem Berry to me is one that where it's like, okay, can you get your feet wet into the college game? This is a perfect opportunity to do it, to where you start battling more for those RB2 reps, right? Like maybe this is a training ground or a learning opportunity, just to see how he does in a game atmosphere. We've seen glimpses of him, obviously, during fall camp. Everyone has watched his high school tape and what he did. Very, very dynamic athlete and what he could do. And so I think offensively, that's for me. And then Shea, I think you said it really well. Just more. Like I want to see more DJ Pickett. I want to see just him continue to play more and get more comfortable to the point where you're going to continue to need him over the course of the season. And what does that look like? And then maybe I wanted to throw this to y'all, because he got, I can't remember the snap count on this, but some of those young D tackles that, to me was like, what in the 3rd and 4th quarter?
Talking about Buddy Mathis?
Yeah, you got Walter Mathis, my guy out of Savannah, Georgia, I'm pretty sure. Shea's muted, but that's
Shea thinks he's
tough.
No.
Walter Mathis, you had those young D tackles.
I think Buddy had 2.
Yeah, he had 2 snaps.
So like when the 3rd and 4th quarter and Brune's on his 3rd run to the Coke machine and Shea is on cookie number 6, I want to be able to see, like, okay, these are the guys that they were really high on. Remember, Kyle Williams didn't bring these guys in. What did they look like? And I remember the term that Kelly used during the signing day ceremony or signing day press conference, a lot of heavy-handedness out of these guys. Like they're strong and what they could do. So I think just, for the future, I'm excited to see what some of those young DTs can do.
Yeah, in week 1, they really just, Kyle Williams played 4 guys, basically. Gooden, 39 snaps. He was excellent. Guillory, 27. Don McKinley, 24. Ahmad Bros, 17. And then Buddy Mathis, 2. So perhaps we do get to see them go beyond 4 or 5 guys here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go. Y'all left me with actually someone that I'm very excited to see, and that is Carius Kern on the offensive line. This is a game.
Flip?
What was that?
You want to see him do a backflip?
Yes. Mid play.
Do it.
Ball snapped. Just do it.
Throw the opposing defensive end off so badly he just stands there and watches. Anyway,
so Carius Kern, Obviously, we all know when Tyree Adams left the game for 4 snaps, DJ Chester comes in. Not a pretty sight there. I don't like. I went back and watched all the offensive line snaps, which y'all can go read my film analysis. There were some good, some bad, whatnot. I can see why I was able to see this, and we were able to see this in fall camp too. Why there was a Weston Davis versus Carius Kern kind of not a battle, because I think Weston was always the starter, but they wanted to see what Carius looked like there. I still think there is a door. There's a path to where in 5-6 weeks, if you told me Kern was starting over Weston Davis, I wouldn't be shocked. Now, with that being said, Kern has a long ways to go, and I think we need to see it in this game in particular as like a starting point of like, okay, where are you at now compared to where you were 3 weeks ago? And so he's one that I do want to see at tackle, because I think he should be their number 3 tackle no matter what going into the Florida game. And defensively, I'm going to nitpick here. This was not included in my story, but I'm going to nitpick. I don't think Tamarcus Cooley had a great game against Clemson. And so I do want to see him in that role be a little bit more assertive, both in coverage and as a tackler. So I'm going to, again, he was fine. I'm not saying it was bad, but I'm going to nitpick there and say I want to see him in this game kind of have a better performance.
You're a hater. That's fine, though. I understand.
Look at me.
No, he did get stuck a couple times. Like, in
the last drive, he didn't miss the tackle, and they went like an extra 10 yards there to get almost into the red zone. So it was like, small things, but I think he's going to be fine. I was very high on him as a transfer portal player, but again, if I'm going to nitpick a big win like that, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, I just love it. You didn't apologize on Sunday night for your take, and then now you're nitpicking the most elite defense ever to take the field. So I'm sure the board will love that. No, but all seriousness, before we go on to the next thing real quick, I want to talk to you about our friends over at Game Time. If you're still trying to get some tickets for this game, there's still plenty available on the market, or maybe you're looking ahead to next weekend or just some of the games in the future. LSU could have a fun season. You can use code TIGERS for $20 off your first purchase. I got 2 buddies coming down next weekend for the Florida game. They used this. They loved it. It was fantastic, really easy. In all seriousness, the Game Time platform is really, really awesome for you to use. Very user-friendly, an easy interface. It's fantastic. Make sure you use it. You can use it for, obviously, concerts, comedy shows, sporting events, anything you want to be able to do. Make sure you use Game Time, and you can use that code TIGERS for $20 off to anything. That's not just an LSU football game. That's anything there forever. So don't be hunting for tickets. Make sure you use our friends over at Game Time.
You might be seeing Shea's Media Pass on there.
Yeah, Shea. Yeah, I don't know how you're going to list that, but
Shea will not unmute his microphone.
No promo code needed.
No promo code needed. Promo code Shea.
Even a kind word, not even money. Just please.
Bitcoin is fine with you. You don't care.
Just a please would do it, or
Yes.
All right, let's talk real quick. I'm going to go, and I know you guys wanted to hand this off to me real quick. Just some things to watch. If you haven't already, if you're interested in learning a little bit more about Louisiana Tech, we talked with our friends over at Ben Carlisle over at Bleed Tech Blue, the On3 site there for Louisiana Tech. They do a fantastic job, really do a good job of covering that program in depth. Ben's a former baseball player, I believe, over there at Louisiana Tech. So he's got some intel on the inside of the program. The biggest thing for me, and it was really that last question, so I'll tease it here, was they really want to establish the drop back passing game. And I think that's something where LSU's like, hey, you can establish that later on in the season. We're going to go get after you and make life uncomfortable. And then their offensive line is really, I don't want to say it's a work in progress, but Southeastern made life difficult at times for them, especially in that first half. That's something to keep an eye on. And then Ben went on to say, on the defensive side, it's completely a retooled defensive line. And he and I talked, and one thing he mentioned about this, he's like, it's so hard. And Brune, look, you came from a G5 program. I've covered a program that's at the, I'm going to throw some shade, lower part of the Power 4. When you get to that kind of those fringe programs, and especially the G5 level, it's really hard to build continuity in the trenches, because if a guy's really good, he's going to get paid and go elsewhere. And so that was something he kind of talked about. Louisiana Tech's trying to find that, especially on the defensive line. So to Shea's point, their defensive line versus trying to be retooled and everything going up against LSU's run game. They do have some really good linebackers, though, some serious speed when you watch what they have there. So, yeah, that's kind of the Louisiana Tech side of things. But before we kind of moved on too far and got out of here, Shea, I did want to come back to you and ask because there are some names entering, or I guess they're going to be on campus this weekend for recruiting. What does typically, just for people who maybe don't know or watching our podcast for the first time, what do you try to do, I guess, in games like this, and what is the focus in terms of who you're bringing onto campus for these non-conference games?
Largely your commits and then prospects for next year. So when you try to get that head start on currently the right kids who are seniors that are going to sign in December, they're in the 26th class. So you're trying to get a head start on 2027. Ahmad Hudson, the number one tight end in the country, who's also got a basketball offer from LSU. His dad played basketball at LSU. A Ruston kid. They've got a couple of Ruston kids on the team already. He'll be at the game. His Ruston teammate, Jaden Anding, is coming, a 4-star who's got an LSU offer. His brother, Aiden, is a freshman on the team. Lamar Brown, 5-star, number one athlete in the country. He's going to play a game on Friday night. He'll be there. I'll have the full list. They're kind of finalizing it now, but tonight, on Thursday night on the Bengal, we're recording this a little early, but Thursday night on the Bengal Tiger, everyone will see it. And they'll add more names as the week goes on. But really, Bryce, that's kind of the goal is, hey, it's been a 2-month dead period. So let's get the commits back on town, make sure everybody is on firm footing here. Because I know the news of last week was Tristan Keys' decommitment and flipped to Tennessee. So you want to get all those guys back, and then you want to kind of start to get your inroads made that you've already been working on for 2027. Because by and large, outside of maybe 3, 4, 5 more additions, this 2026 class will be about wrapped up. So let's see. Maybe they get a surprise visitor in. Stay tuned to the Bengal Tiger. But I do know, 8 days from now when Florida comes to town, it will be a jam-packed visitor weekend. And I will mention that since you asked, Bryce, and it's just the timing of it. This is every school, right?
Yeah.
Louisiana football starts Friday. So Texas, Georgia started a week ago, but Mississippi does. So a lot of kids play Friday night. They have film on Saturday. It's 1:00. Can you still drive to Baton Rouge for a 6:30 kickoff? It's tough to do. That's when you kind of say, hey, maybe I'll come for a bigger game. So this one will be a lot of Louisiana, East Texas, Mississippi, Georgia kids.
Yeah.
You can drive over in the span of 4 or 5 hours.
I'm excited tomorrow night as we're recording this on Thursday night. Tomorrow night, Catholic versus Destrehan. Get a look at Jabari Mack, Blaine Bradford on the same field. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I'll be out there and trying to get to talk with some of those guys and get that up on Saturday morning. So make sure you stay tuned to the Bengal Tiger for some of that content there as well. Before we get out of here and we do our predictions, I did want to talk about if you're trying to, Brune, you got your locks coming tomorrow on Friday, right? Okay.
I believe so, yes.
If you're doing that, you got to make sure that you check out our friends over at BetMGM. They do a fantastic job. You see right there, you can get up to $1,500 paid back in bonus bets if you don't win. And look, I've also said this too. Every time you make a wager with them, you earn BetMGM rewards points that can be redeemed for things like bonus bets or converted to MGM rewards points that can be used outside of the gambling atmosphere. They can be used for dining, shows, hotel rooms at over 20 MGM resorts. Throughout the entire football season as well, BetMGM will offer different types of no sweat tokens. So be on the lookout for no sweat same game parlay tokens, no sweat parlay tokens, and odds boost tokens there as well. As we're recording this, fellas, we got NFL football on tonight. So that's something we got. We're marrying college football, NFL. They always throw that stat out there, by the way, of where you get is it like October to where you have a game every single night until like January, where it's like, I mean, look, I love some action. Don't hate on action. We know Shea probably loves some action. Brune does too. And so college football, NFL, got to be there full swing. So it's, make sure you check out our friends over at BetMGM. All right, prediction time. I think we all kind of feel like the same team. We're not going to make anybody mad tonight. That's the good thing about it. No hurt feelings on the message board tonight. Brune, you take it away. What's what you got? You got a final score for us that you want to ride with?
Let me think about this for a second because I haven't written out my predictions yet, and we'll have those up probably before this goes live on Friday morning. Louisiana Tech will not score a touchdown. Louisiana Tech will kick 2 field goals. Give me LSU 41, La Tech 6.
I thought you were going to say they were going to kick 2 field goals and then say 0. And then they would miss
Oh,
them
you're gonna
both.
miss them
and
both?
They will miss both field goal
He never
attempts.
specified making them, so
Yeah, I was just waiting for, I thought you were delaying that to be like 3. They'll make one.
Okay, no. 41-6. 41-6 LSU.
What did they beat Southeastern by last week? And who LSU 24-0. So they made a field goal last weekend, Matty B. And got that going for you. 1 for 1, Drew Henderson from 18 yards out, Matty B. So you're going to need to get this one into the red zone.
He's going to bomb a 52-yarder. I'm telling you.
Boot it. Just boot it.
Time expires in the fourth quarter. There he goes.
I already laid out the scenario in the text thread for you, what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and I'm watching the whole time. The spread is 37.5 from BetMGM. The over-under at 51.5. Shea, what's your final score? You got one? What do you think?
Wait, so it's 51.5, and what was the spread?
37.5.
They'll cover that.
So the question, Shea thinks, I was just going to say the question is how much urgency will there be for this team in the second half to continue to score?
I don't think a lot.
But go ahead, Shea. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know, 45 or 48-7 or something like that. I could see La Tech scoring in the fourth. If you're playing, that's okay. If you've got your backups in there. Don't let this play out like Nichols last year, where it's what I mean. I don't. What
it was 23-14 at halftime.
It was 23-14 at half.
Guggenheim. Never forget the name.
Yeah,
never forget.
And then nobody scored. Neither team scored in the fourth quarter. So I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But this is a good chance for all you sickos who are that diehard about every LSU game and not just the SEC to scout the next opponent in 2 weeks, because you also get Southeastern.
That is
so
true.
you get to see the La Tech team that just beat Southeastern, then you get to play Southeastern. So
yeah. I'm unfortunately not that dedicated. I don't even know if it's on ESPN or anything. But go ahead, Bryce. Your prediction.
I got to stay true to what I told Bleed Tech Blue. I've got LSU winning this one 52-10. I think they're going to put up some serious points in the first half. I think you're probably going to see Van Buren at the 10-minute mark in the third quarter. And do we get a Colin Hurley sighting?
Oh, see, I don't know about that.
That'll be
they play Jaden Daniels and Brian Kelly. He'll be playing those boys deep into the fourth quarter. Garrett Nussmeier didn't even come out of games, let alone
Tom Thibodeau of college football.
They were, yes. I'll never forget those threads. It's like, why are they still in the game? It's
why
like,
are they still in the game?
Like
Brian Thomas Jr.
Now, Southeastern, that it might get like out of hand by the second quarter. This one, I think Louisiana Tech at least somewhat keeps it at like what did we? I don't know, at like 28-3 at halftime, 28-6 at halftime. Something like
as the residential Falcons fans on this podcast, you just absolutely brutalized.
28-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go ahead and end the show now, and I'm sure the thread will love that.
No,
right. But seriously, I got 52-10. Like, I mean, I think you're gonna see Van Buren mid third. I'm going to go. That's my prediction. So we've got LSU all winning handily. That way everyone can be happy with us this weekend. There'll be no hurt feelings on the message board. I did not cry myself to sleep in the wee hours of Sunday morning after my story got torn apart, but it's okay. No, I'm just kidding. So also, by the way, I want to end right here because we always have fun on this podcast. We're serious. Shea, did you know that Brune talks and has full conversations in his sleep?
No, Shea, I don't think I've stayed in the hotel. Have we? I don't know of one of the stops.
So I've got. This is wee hours. I'm waiting for the podcast to upload post.
We work till like 3 a.m.
It's 5:30. I got to be up in an hour, and Brune's over there going.
Y'all don't work on the rigs here. You're not doing 2 weeks on and off. Y'all are at a hotel after Clemson. All right, slow down. Was he? So what is he like telling Pop?
No, he goes.
Do? Like
I'm just sitting
subs
there
to make.
No, he goes. I hear, yeah, we got it posted on the board. We got it posted on the front page. And I'm like, I thought he was on the phone.
Oh, see, he's thinking about work too much. I like those videos. I guess like it's Twitter, TikTok. It could be fake, but it seems to be real. It's always the same girl who eventually just put like the camera up in her bedroom and will then like put out what her husband says. And he'll be like talking deep about jobs that he doesn't know anything about or work in. Like he'll be like a sports writer and he'll be like, we got to move those rigs tomorrow. And I need that guy to show up with the truck about 5, and she'll be like, You don't even know anything about the trucking business. Like, what are you talking
Yes.
about?
I am always like, what does that mean? It's like when the dentist says you were grinding in your sleep. It's like, that's me.
Yeah.
That's me right there.
Yeah.
Wear a mouth guard.
There we go.
Did you listen to what he told you after that?
No, I got scared, to be honest.
No,
with
no,
you.
the dentist. You
Oh.
grind your teeth. Wear a mouth guard then.
We appreciate you watching, hanging out with us here. Make sure you make sure you subscribe on all those podcast platforms. LSU, Louisiana Tech this Saturday. We'll have game day thread web updates as well.
Yeah, a reminder, this one's streaming only, right? So
This is
if you're
streaming
trying
only.
to watch it and you're not going to the game, you need to get it on the app or wherever.
Is a certain
SEC
YouTube
Network
channel? Would a certain YouTube channel that does the baseball games? No, they don't.
You didn't hear what happened during baseball season.
Yeah,
Right.
man, that Louisiana Lafayette.
Yeah, but I
dude
thought they
got
came
me,
back.
yeah.
I thought they came back. No,
That was the best story. They screw the national championship. That was
Yeah,
the best
that was-
storyline all season long.
I remember. I just thought it came back.
But
Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
you gotta get the app, SEC Network Plus. Make sure your cable provider has it. I think it's I don't remember how much it costs. I
Yeah,
put it in there,
well,
and some guy asked if he could have my login, and I respectfully declined. So, well, there we go. Or just buy Shea's Media Pass there as well. We'll
and then you
link
go,
that.
God, that's a much cheaper option. Y'all are younger than myself. I remember most people listening probably back in the day when we'd have to pay for Tiger Zone or ESPN Zone, and you pay like, it was pay-per-view, you pay like $55 or whatever, and then you'd get to watch Luedecke. So thankfully everything comes on TV now if you've got it to stream.
Shea grew up on the trying to get the radio right. Trying to get the antenna and
He didn't
whatnot
have
on there.
knobs. It was just a pair of
Yeah.
pliers. to keep
It's
moving
all right,
around.
Shea.
All right.
That's
all
all
You
right.
know that wasn't that long ago, so you laugh, but
Okay.
There's good reason for you to subscribe right there. That's a good endpoint. Matthew Brune, Shea Dixon. My name's Bryce Koon. We appreciate you. We'll see you on the message boards. If you haven't already, make sure you get that sign up there as well. And we'll continue to talk all things LSU leading up to Saturday and a big, big game recruiting weekend next week.
real quick, would this be 2-0 or 1-0 again? Are we doing this all season? Because it seems we're doing this all season.
1-0. It's
1-0.
1-0.
1-0 again.
Yeah,
1-0.
they're going to wear the shirts tomorrow.
I don't even
so-
remember what happened last week. I'm just
What was last
Really?
week?
Let's-
Short-term memory.
Everyone's done this before, but that was the real Joe Brady vibe. 1-0 at tweet. That was like I think if you go to he still does it with the Bills. If you go to Joe Brady's Twitter, I think he tweeted about getting married and then having a kid. And other than that, every tweet is 1-0.
what he should have done is after he had the kid, he should just tweet 1-0. After he got
1-0.
married, 1-0. Like every
1-0.
significant moment in his life, just keep
Wife-
going 1-0.
Picture of
Wife
it, but
went,
just
wife
1-0.
went 1-0 today, guys. All right.
1-0.
All right. We appreciate you. Make sure you make sure you subscribe. We'll catch you next time here on the Bengal Tiger Podcast.